Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse, and in today's segment I wanted to discuss with you guys how to do a pain management protocol. A lot of people are walking around with chronic pain and issues related to either back injuries, fibromyalgia, car crash injuries, lots of different things that suddenly put people into an unfamiliar territory of having to manage their pain and try and figure out how to have a life in the midst of that. So I'm going to attempt to give you some ideas and some tips today to being able to do that, being a recoverer from a motor vehicular crash a few years back. I've had to deal with this and learn and adapt and apply my own nursing know-how to myself. So let's get started. Okay, so probably the first thing that I would tell you about managing chronic pain is that you're different, not diminished. And you have to, especially if it's been a sudden thing for you, like from a car crash or you've had a recent diagnosis of some health condition, you have to first realize that this condition that you have doesn't make you less of a person. And that's hard, especially if you're somebody like me. Like, I'm used to going and doing and accomplishing all of these things. And when you come up against a situation where you are used to and you have these expectations of yourself, and now you find great difficulty in being able to maintain that, or you can't do that anymore, that can be a major blow to your psyche and to your sense of self-worth. So let me encourage you, try and view yourself and your circumstances as taking on a different facet, okay? It doesn't make you less of a person because you don't have the ability to do things you once did. And right on the heels of that, let's talk about finite resources and a life budget, if you will. Okay, what do I mean by a budget? We only have so much energy in a day to be able to do and accomplish things, you know, to do our activities of daily living, to dress ourselves, to eat, to go get groceries, things like that, okay? For people who have a new diagnosis of chronic pain, or it's something you've had for a while, but you're just not doing as well as you'd like to, what we have to realize is that energy and time for someone who is dealing with chronic pain, it's a finite amount of resource, okay? It's a budget, all right? You have to kind of think of it that way. With a budget, a personal finance budget, I know that I only have X amount of dollars to be able to accomplish all of these expenses, needs, etc. throughout the month. Likewise, I would encourage you, think about yourself, your energy, your ability to do things as a budget. I only have so much energy that I can accomplish things throughout the day, so I need to prioritize, okay, what is most important here? That's something that I struggled with a lot when I first had to change basically the way that I did things. I had to change my expectations. I was so used to being able to operate on X number of hours of sleep and then get up and go and be on my feet all day and not take a break. Hello nurses, we don't break to pee, let alone to eat lunch. It's kind of the joke when you're a nurse. It's like, give me a catheter, that way I can run around and not have to go to the bathroom and take care of everybody else but myself, you know. All joking aside, we're used to people who are, you know, high energy and motivated. We're used to being able to go and do things. And a new diagnosis of chronic pain or some sort of change in the way that you live, it can knock you back a little bit. So let me encourage you, set aside, okay, I know that, for instance, I'm going to average 4 hours of being able to do things pain-free, you know, per day. In that 4 hours that I have, what is most important for me to accomplish today, and then on the week, and then on the month? Getting a sort of checklist flowing, like I need to accomplish this today, and I need to accomplish this week, and this month we're going to, you know, a birthday party for so-and-so. If you have your tasks organized in such a way that you're like, okay, this is a priority, this is nice to do, this I don't have to do, it'll help you feel more in control of your situation. One of the things that I have noticed with people like myself who've had to go through some of these things, the lack of predictability in what you're able to do, it can be very, very demoralizing, okay? So by having a sort of checklist of I did this, I did this, I did this, it helps you feel more in control of your circumstances. To get the support of your family and friends and have a talk with them, hey, you know, I may not be able to do this. I'm going to do the best that I can to be there, but just so you know, this is where I'm at on a health standpoint, on this is how I'm feeling. And some people, I think, have a little bit more understanding friends and family in their lives than others. The tendency from the outside world can be to look at somebody who deals with, for instance, fibromyalgia or any number of back pain issues and say, oh, that person's just exaggerating, oh, they're lazy. Let me tell you, I as a nurse, I worked with patients who dealt with a variety of chronic pain and inflammation issues. Even knowing the physiology and the background of what's going on in that person's body, I did not get it until I actually went through it. And so I think getting in a situation where you have people who support you, or at least another person who's been through something similar that can identify with you, that helps a lot. In a way, I'm sort of recommending that you go to a group therapy, or you have some sort of group support network with people who understand you. And that is an important thing, having at least one other person in your life who understands what it's like to go through these things. It helps you be able to connect and not feel so alone. When people feel alone, that sets up a nasty cascade of fear, of uncertainty that exacerbates a lot of underlying pain issues. That's another thing people forget. When you're dealing with fear, anxiety, depression, any of these overwhelming emotions, it depletes your happy neurotransmitters in your body. And just the same way that we have a budget of energy and the ability to fulfill our everyday needs, right? Our bodies have a budget, a sort of, okay, this is what I'm able to do neurotransmitter wise. All those feel good, happy serotonin, dopamine, the feel good, happy neurotransmitters and other good hormones in your body, they get depleted and maxed out whenever you're dealing with pain anyway. And so what ends up happening is that because they've used up so much of their pain neutralization capacity, there's very little left over for supporting a happy mood sometimes. So it can lead to, for instance, people who have chronic pain developing and struggling with depression over an extended period of time. So it's odd, people say, which came first, the chicken or the egg? And my answer is yes. Well, which came first? Probably both of them. It could be that the person had the back injury, and because their neurotransmitters were so depleted, that depression just crept up on them in the midst of all these life changes of not being able to do the things they once did, okay? So one thing that I would also recommend is that if you are struggling with depression, that you deal with that in some way. I personally am not a big fan of the pharmaceutical method of dealing with these things, SSRIs, SNRIs. I'm not a fan of those whatsoever. I think that they have their place in a limited scope. But before I personally will go towards any of that, I'm a big fan of herbal alternatives, including things like chamomile, St. John's wort. The high quality St. John's wort, Gaia Herbs, is my favorite, and I'll put a link in the description box below for you guys who are interested in supporting your emotional health that way. But there are a myriad of things to consider here when you're looking at managing chronic pain. But above all, I want you guys to know, again, what we started with in this video. Just because you are a different person and your capabilities have changed and your endurance has changed, that doesn't mean you are less of a person. In fact, I would submit that because you've gone through these very heavy and negative life experiences at times, it allows you to have more empathy, genuine empathy, deep understanding of other people's hurts and their needs. And it could very well be that you, in turn, are able to help somebody else when their time comes. You know, it's sort of like a seesaw in life. We have good times and bad times, but when you experience these things, these negative things, instead of allowing it to make you bitter, and it's a hard fight, I would encourage you to allow those experiences tempered with wisdom to make you better. And if you let it make you better, then you can help somebody else too on their path in life. I hope it was helpful for y'all today. If you did enjoy the video, please subscribe to me, Patriot Nurse, and also like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. Guys, chronic pain and managing pain in long-term disasters and long-term nasty circumstances, that's one of the things that we talk about in medical prep. So let me encourage you to come out to class and get yourself squared away skills-wise and knowledge-wise for the many uncertainties of life whenever they come around. I hope it was helpful for y'all. And for now, it's Patriot Nurse signing off, and I will see y'all later. Bye.